Hello on Friday, the start of a new vlogging week. Hopefully by now the previous vlog has gone live and it's been okay. This morning, school run, no one seemed to want to get ready, so that was interesting. Got there eventually, and then we've got back, sorted out some washing, had a bit of a dance, and dirty glass, blown some bubbles. Oh, that's nice. Eee. And I'm just going to have my Spartone in my orange juice. And then we've got Playgroup in a little bit. Not sure what we're going to do up until then. I keep wanting to like plan some like little nice activities to do with Jake. And I'm just not organised enough. We are off to Playgroup. I'm really tired today. I'm hoping we get a chance to have a coffee in the cafe before we go in, just to wake me up a little bit. The traffic around our local town is just crazy today as well, so it's taken ages to get here. It's just kind of like one of those faffy Fridays. But we're going to have a good time at Playgroup, aren't we? Yeah. It is one of those tough parenting days. I'm a bit frazzled. So we went to Playgroup and it's like free play to begin with. Well, first we went for a quick coffee and whatnot in the cafe, because we try and do that just because it takes Jakey a little bit of time to warm up to these places. So we figure that if he spends a bit of time in the cafe and just gets acclimatised, then he'll be a bit more happier when he gets into the Playgroup. Didn't have a lot of time in the cafe today because I had to take Jace around. Who's Jace? Had to chase Jake around to change his bum before we left the house, which took forever to capture him, so we were a little bit late getting there, plus the traffic was awful. So we had about 10 minutes, so it was a bit shorter than normal. Went into the free play and he was alright. He was a little bit shy, but it was okay. And then we started like the circle time activities and it was just an absolute grumpy sod. Didn't particularly want to join in, and he's been like that for a few weeks now. And I've been trying to be like patient and just cuddle him and just encourage, but I just couldn't. I did it for like 50% of the class, and then it got to like the last activity before the goodbye song, and it was like the little ride on, I don't know what you call them, they're like got 4 wheels and you sit on them and you sort of scoot along on them, and he loves those, and he will happily scoot around on stuff at home or anywhere else like an absolute loon. And he refused to get on them. He was just like, no, don't like it. And I just thought, you do bloody like it. You're just being, I don't know what you've been. And I just thought, okay, I've tried the kind of like being kind and cuddling you and saying it's okay, just sit on mummy if you want to. I thought, I've got losing my patience and like just try different tactics. It's okay, we're going then. Because I thought, well, if you don't want to join in, really what's the point in being here? So we left. I thought he might be like, oh no mummy, I want to go back and join in, but actually he was just like, no, I want my lunch. So yeah, I don't really know what to do. We used to go to, well, we've been going to those classes for, must be a year now, because we are starting to repeat the classes, which I kind of figured wouldn't be a bad thing because he was quite young when he started and a lot of it didn't really go in. And I enjoyed them, and it's nicer now because when we started everyone had face masks and it was still social distancing and whatnot. I guess that could be a thing. Maybe he's not used to people sitting so close to him. Could be a thing, possibly. So I thought, you know, it'll be fine to do a few more classes, even though they're kind of reruns of the previous year. But I don't think there's any point really, because he's just not enjoying them, and you know, it's about £6 a lesson a class, I would say, which just isn't worth it. They do free play stuff there in the afternoon, so we might do some of that instead. But it's a shame because I enjoy it. I think we'll have to start looking for some other baby groups, or toddler groups should I say. There's a few around locally that I was thinking of trying. I might phone the health visitor as well, because this has got to be quite a common thing with like lockdown children. I forget that he was only 6 months I think when he went into the first lockdown. No, was he older than that? No, he was older than that, wasn't he? Eight months. He was 8 months old. I thought it was 6 months. I worked it out wrong. I worked it out from a wedding anniversary rather than from when he was born. Interesting. Yeah, he was 8 months old, so he was still pretty young. So yeah, I kind of forget that sometimes. So I guess it's just a bit of a big scary world for him when he's not used to it. But yeah, there's a few more groups, and I say I may phone the health visitor because there's bound to be other toddlers that are struggling too, and so hopefully they might have some advice as to what to do, because I don't want him to not socialise. I want him to have, I mean, by the time Elliot was Jake's age, he had so many friends. I mean, I remember having his second birthday party, and he had like friends from Baby Sensory, which, you know, we still got those friends now, we still socialise with them. And he had friends like, we'd done NCT the first time around, so we had NCT buddies, and again we're still friends with some of those. He goes to school with some of them. So I mean, you do less with your second anyway, just because you don't have as much time. And I think sometimes it's trickier to make friends second time around, because some of the first time mums, I don't know, some of the conversations you have can be a little bit awkward, I think, because you've kind of been there, done that. So you can sound a bit arrogant, I think, and you don't mean to. But when they're saying about things, you're like, oh yeah, that's normal, then I think you can start to sound a bit arrogant. So it always is trickier with your second. But yeah, it's not much fun really. So that wasn't great. I felt like I had a toddler tantrum really, but I just thought I've got to try something else, because like, this isn't working just sitting here. And then he's asleep in the back now. I've given him his lunch. He's eaten most of it, and then he's fallen asleep in the back of the car. So clearly he's absolutely shattered also. So I'm wondering, do we just try a different time? Maybe this just isn't a good time of day for him and he's tired, and that's why he's not joining in. I mean, babies and toddlers just basically need a dashboard like you have in your car, where just something lights up. I mean, babies especially, because you really can't tell what's happening with them. But even toddlers, they still find it very difficult to express, don't they? So it would be helpful if they had like a little dashboard. So we've come to the shopping centre because I need some cosmetic-y bits. And I was going to do it when he wasn't around, but I kind of figure you're clearly not in the mood for doing anything, so you may as well sit in the buggy while I pop to Boots, really. And then at least I get something done, because I know as soon as I get home, I desperately need to clean the kitchen, which isn't exciting, but it needs doing. I know if I try and do that, it's going to be like, play with me, and I'm like, we have just been somewhere where we could have done activities together, and you chose not to. Parenting is hard work sometimes. Yeah, watch this space. I think I've got a little plan in my head. I always think driving when you're in this kind of mood is quite helpful, because it helps you to think, like, because your brain's occupied with the driving, then like the other part of your brain thinks, I don't know what I'm on about, but I know what I'm on about at the same time. So I've got a few ideas of things we could try and adjust things up a little bit for him socially, bless him. It's a shame. Mr. Jakey woke up, jolted, accidentally threw his lunch on the floor because of his jolt. Probably should have thought to take it off him. Never mind. He was holding, I don't know if I videoed it, but he was holding like the tray out of his Yum box. And so as he woke up, he kind of went, oh, and it tumbled onto the floor and all went everywhere. So that'll be a fun job to clean out when I get home. We've just popped to Boots. This little bag has £50 worth of stuff in it. How is it so easy to spend so much in Boots? So I got Max Factor eyeshadow compact, the one I'm using at the moment, but I'm starting to run out of the matte colours. I did try to see if they had them separately, but there's nowhere on here that tells you what shades are in this, as far as I can see anyway. I didn't fancy guessing, so I just bought the whole thing again. That's like 15 quid for that, and I only use about 6 of the colours, so expensive. Eye makeup remover, the Nivea gentle one, I always use that. It seems to be strong enough to get rid of most of it, and not so strong that it kind of irritates my contact lenses and my eyes. Rimmel Stay Matte powder in transparent. Don't really say anything about that, do I? It's kind of a classic. Got myself some more nail polish because I'm really bored of the colours I've got at the minute. So this is Hot Metal Love. I love the Rimmel 60 Second Shine because it literally does dry in 60 seconds. This is a lovely kind of purpley metallic-y colour. Lots of different shades, like a pearlescent colour. Excuse my nails at the moment. I only painted them on, what day would it have been? Monday, I think it was Monday night. Or Tuesday night I think. And they are already chipped, so that wasn't very successful. A new powder brush. This one's by Spectrum because I've only got one and it needs a good wash. And I figured it's going to take a while to dry, so I thought I'd get another one to use while I wash and dry the existing one. And then I thought I'd try this. This is L'Oreal Infallible foundation in a powder. Now I have a feeling I used to have this when I was a student, and I think it was quite nice coverage, and then I think for some reason they stopped making it, or maybe they changed the formula, I'm not sure, and I stopped having it. But I spotted it and I thought, I'm gonna give that another try. I think it should have a little sponge underneath. Let's have a look, see if it's how I remember it. So that's the actual like foundation-y bit, and then I think underneath, oh there you go, there's a little spongy bit. I want a little mirror as well, so I thought I'd give that a try for a change, because I used to really like it. I can't remember why I stopped using it, whether it was just that it just got discontinued or changed. We will find out, and I shall report back. And now I'm going to drive home. Mr H is finishing work early today because he worked over yesterday. This one wants to watch Go-Go Jetters, but then he always wants to watch Go-Go Jetters. Normally the Eiffel Tower episode, which we have probably seen 10 million times. I'm going to take my jumper off because it's gone hot now. Yeah, I could do with getting some stuff done around the house if I'm honest. But then I know Mr H also wants to try and mow the lawn, but then it's a bit drizzly today. Who knows what we'll end up doing, but we will end up doing something, I'm sure. I haven't had any lunch yet either. I totally forgot about that. I took my jumper off, didn't I? I seem to be in my car whenever I talk to you today. Today hasn't been a fun one, really. I wanted it to be, but it hasn't been really. So I've kind of filled you in about Jakey and his toddler group. I honestly thought that me saying, oh, we'll go, was going to be like a double bluff, where like I started putting my shoes on and he was like, no, I want to stay, mummy. But it backfired on me, didn't it? Anyway, then I'm going to try. We've still got 4 classes left. Just checked online, we've got 4 classes left. So I think I'm going to try and change it to a different time of day, which means changing it to a different day as well. Because the fact that he fell asleep so quickly afterwards suggests to me that maybe he's just too tired to enjoy it, and that's why he's not really that into it. We'll give it a go. Popped to the shops, obviously you saw that bit, and then we got back home just as Mr H was finishing work, so that was kind of good timing. And he was like, oh, I'll look after Jake so you can get your jobs done. And I was like, do you know what, I don't really fancy doing my jobs now. Like, I'm desperate for a wee because I've needed one for about the past hour and I've not been for one, and I haven't had anything to eat or drink for ages, so I think I'll just prioritise those, thank you. So I did that, and then Mr H was like, oh, I'll go and get Elle from school, and I was like, again, if I stay here I'm just going to do housework, and I am not in the mood for housework at the moment, so actually I'll come for a walk with you if that's okay, to clear my head. So we went for a walk. Jakey had a little play in the park, got Elliot from school. Elliot always likes it when we all go to pick him up. And then we had another little play on the park. On the way home, they have like learning partners at school, which is really cute, and they change them occasionally. And Elliot's got a new learning partner at the minute, and they seem to be becoming like really firm friends, which is really, really cute. And as his learning partner was leaving the park today, he gave Elliot a cuddle to say bye. It was so lovely. So that's really nice. And then it's just fiasco. Like, I struggle. I obviously got a slightly dysregulated nervous system. I say obviously, you probably don't know that, but I do have a dysregulated nervous system from stuff that I've been through historically. And I'm trying desperately to re-regulate it or regulate it. It's hard. So when I have stressful days or stressful situations, it's a lot more intense for me and it hits harder. I mean, it's hard for anybody, especially when kids are being a pain in the ass. But it hits just that little bit harder for me. So it just kind of affects me a bit more. And like my fight, flight, freeze and fawn kicks in a bit too readily, I think. Clearly it was flight today, that's why I left the group. So I find it harder to kind of get back to that kind of equilibrium state, that kind of like, oh, everything's okay, no, that just happened. And I'm getting a lot better, like loads better. But it's still a bit tricky. So after that happened with Jake, I just felt, ugh. And then like they were just fighting over pieces of Lego and then snatching Lego off each other, like Duplo Lego, because Jakey was playing with it. And then tea was the wrong type of potatoes because Mr. H had done mash for me and him, and then boiled potatoes for, Elliot, which he normally likes, but then Elliot didn't like the boiled potatoes because they didn't have herbs on them and they weren't crunchy enough. So I actually joked to Mr. H that he needs to be like a restaurant, and like when you get something like potatoes 4 ways, like that, just so they've got options. And then Jake normally eats his potato and eats his sausage, but did the opposite around today, ate his sausage, ate his potato, and yeah. It's just one of those. Elliot was getting ready for beavers, and then Jake decided to throw Elliot's woggle, so he couldn't find it. She was about to go out the door. It's just been a faffage. So I decided that instead of going home after taking Elliot to beavers, I would drive, and I would take myself to the drive-through, get myself Starbucks and read some of my book. Good job I drove because it started to rain. Drove to Starbucks, took 20 minutes to get there. Then they messed up my order, so I ended up waiting there for about 10 minutes. And then I've driven to sit on the car park to wait for Elliot to come out of beavers. Made a reel and posted that. And haven't actually read any of my book. And I think Elliot's probably due out in about 5 minutes now. So the reading of the book didn't really go to plan. But yeah, I think it's just good for me to have a bit of time to myself, maybe. Try and chill out a little bit. Oh, I love my kids so dearly. They are the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. But sometimes parenting is so intense. So intense. So I say it not to moan. I say it as a case of solidarity, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going through similar situations. Highly recommend sitting in your car with a Starbucks. Hello on Saturday. A very slow start to the day today. I think we'll lay in bed till about 8. Something like that. Ellie didn't particularly want to stay in bed, but I was just like, let mummy sleep, because Jakey was chilled, so I just thought I'd take advantage of it. Got no makeup on, hair's a mess, I'm going to have a shower later on. Just trying to get some jobs done around the house, really. Elliot is outside with Mr. H mowing the lawn, because it looks like a field of, like, wheat. It's that long at the moment. And then Jakey's with me, aren't you? Yeah. And you're making some garages for your cars. Yeah. Well, I'm just putting some washing away because it's never ending, and I'm just trying to make the house to a nice standard. Like, I'm not a dust if you must person, but I'm not a Mrs. Hinch either. I'm somewhere in between the two. But I just want to make it so it's more manageable throughout the week. So you're going to help me just get a few bits done upstairs, aren't you, sweetie? Yeah. And also we kind of keep Jakey away from the lawnmower because it might be a bit cray-cray. Hello, I haven't really been on very much today. It's been a very doing day. Mr. H mowed the lawn because it was like a field. I weeded the drive, and then did other housework, washing, changed the beds, hoovered, cleaned the downstairs bathroom, all that kind of stuff, just trying to get back on top of things, get the house in a good place. Now I am going out. I say out as if I'm going clubbing or something. I'm going for a curry with a friend. It's a mummy friend that I know kind of through Elliot. So I've known her for 7 years, nearly. But, well, probably it's about 7 years because we knew each other when we were pregnant as well. But we've never actually been out, just the two of us. It's always been with kids. So it's going to be really weird being able to actually have a proper conversation without having to kind of get up and leave the table halfway through. But I'm very much looking forward to it. I didn't really know what to wear because I don't get to go out very often. And like I say, it's not exactly clubbing. But after a couple of years of lockdown and being a mum that doesn't get out very much, even going to a crochet kind of club would feel like a night out for me at the moment. So I'm very much going to take advantage of it. Hello on Monday. Yesterday I barely came on at all because it was an absolute whirlwind of a day. Nothing particularly exciting. Sorry, I was trying to push the buggy one-handed. Nothing particularly exciting. Just lots and lots of like housey stuff. So finished weeding the drive, washed my car, took my car to the garage to hoover it out. Can't even remember what else, but it was just like one thing after another. Went to the park for a little bit in the afternoon, and that was about it really. By the evening, was pretty tired. Me and Mr H had to sit down and discuss like diary dates and all the kind of parent admin that you don't get to discuss while the kids are awake. And then when the time had finished doing that and we were going to have some chill out time, Elliot woke up. So it wasn't it's one of those things, isn't it? Today we've just done the school run. Now we are off to Playgroup. It's the Playgroup we normally do on a Friday. We're trying a different time on a Monday just to see if that suits Jake a bit better. So we've walked up after the school run, gonna pop to the shops and then head there. Hello, it is now many hours later and we are back on the school run to get Elliot from school this time. Oh, we went to Playgroup. It was a little bit better, but still not great. Enjoyed the free play activities, less keen on the circle time activities. Did go and get his own cushion and stuff, but still not fabulous. Someone did kind of confide in me that their child's going through exactly the same thing. So whether it's a lockdown thing or just an age thing, who knows, but at least I'm not the only one. We've got 2 weeks of that block booking left. So we'll keep doing that for those 2 weeks. And then I think we might knock it on the head for a bit if things don't improve. We also, not to get run over, we also thought they do like a little nursery rhyme thing and singy songy thing at our local library that I used to go to with Elliot. I went a few times with Jake, but then lockdown kind of hit, and I didn't re-enroll him because I thought it was probably a bit too babyish for him and he wouldn't sit still. But then given his recent aversion to things like that, I thought, well, I don't know if it's the best idea or the worst idea. If it's the best idea or the worst idea, I thought I might try and enroll him in that because it's free and it might get him used to being around other kids and taking part in singing activities. But the classes for that, or the groups for that, are completely full and they're not even taking names for the waiting list at the moment. So that's that. If you are local to me and you know of any good like toddler groups that he might enjoy, please do let me know, because I quite like going to toddler groups. I think it's good for him, gets him used to being around people for socialisation for school, and just helps my sanity that I can socialise as well. On the plus side, after that we did a few bits in town and then we walked to the park to go and meet a friend and play on the park, and then the cafe at the park was rammed, so we decided that we'd go to the pub over the road from the park instead and have lunch there, which actually was really nice because it was a bit more chilled out than the cafe in the park. Jakey had a pizza and he absolutely loved it. I had a chicken wrap, which was delicious too. The kids sat beautifully. I found a random activity to keep them quiet where I've got some wooden forks in my bag and some wax crayons, so they decorated the wooden forks. Really random, not sure where that came from, but it worked, so that was good. Yeah, and they sat really nicely. So me and my friend actually managed to have a bit of a catch up, which obviously doesn't always happen when you're going out with two children. So it's been a nice day. All in all, I just wish Jakey would enjoy his classes a little bit more. I'm just worried a bit about his socialisation and just wondering if it's a lockdown thing or just a stage thing or just a personality thing really. I don't know. Anyway, school run. I think Jake's asleep at the moment, so I might have to wake him up in a minute. Don't feel like I'm doing a very good job on this vlogging malarkey this week, but I did try and come in earlier and then Jakey chased me around. Well, not literally chased me around, but I bought some socks from upstairs for him because his feet were a tiny bit wet and he wanted to change his socks. And I bought the wrong socks and it was a whole thing, so I kind of gave up trying to talk to you. I can't remember what I was trying to say earlier. We did the school run. we got wet, came back and did stuff. I lit red. I can't remember what we did. Really can't remember. One thing I did want to say, which is about today's Instagram post as well, is I annoyed some angry internet men by like saying positive things about ageing women. Apparently you can't change career once you get past a certain age. Apparently your bones get so brittle that you shouldn't take up sports like parkour. If you don't know what parkour is, Google it. It's also called free running, which is basically when people jump from like a high concrete wall to a low concrete wall, then do a backflip. I don't think it's like a major thing that people would take up anyway. It's quite niche. To be fair, if you did want to take it up when you were older and you were happy with the fact that you might break a bone, I mean, to be honest, I think there's a fairly high risk you might break a bone doing that when you're young, because you're jumping from concrete to concrete. You know, if you're happy to do that, then again, why shouldn't you? I guess maybe his argument is that you're unnecessarily putting the NHS or the health system under strain because you're doing silly things. But I did many silly things when I was young and potentially put the NHS at strain. I mean, I never was hospitalised for them, but I could have been. So again, what's that got to do with anything? One guy, the post I'd commented on was kind of about ageism and prejudice. And I'd commented that, ironically, it was probably the one prejudice that pretty much everyone would experience because, you know, we all age. He thought that actually every prejudice going would impact everybody. And I just thought, I'm not really comfortable as a privileged white woman to say that racism affects me. Obviously, it affects me as in, you know, I need to stand up for people that maybe are subjected to racism, and I need to make sure that my children aren't racist, and I need to, you know, be doing more, but it doesn't directly affect me, and I'm not comfortable with that idea. And when I went back to him and said that in a polite way, apparently I was being aggressive. So yeah, I annoyed the angry men of the internet. Soz for that. I'm currently exporting a clean with me video. I've never done anything like that before, and it's not brilliant, and I can see how I can improve, but the only way you get good at doing anything is by trying it, isn't it? So I've done it. I'm going to put it live, and each time I do it, I'll get better, and that's fine. I think we've got such this idea that we need to be able to do something. We need to be able to do it perfectly straight from the off, and we don't. We can just have fun doing it and learn as we go, and that's what I'm doing. But I'm just waiting for that to export. It is nearly 11 o'clock. About 3/4 of the way there, and then I'm going to bed because I'm tired, and tomorrow is a work day. Hello on Tuesday. It's work day. I'm just getting all my work stuff ready. I think I'm going to work on the sofa this morning, just because it's quite sunny in the conservatory, which is where I normally work, and I won't be able to see. Nothing exciting to report, so just thought I'd let you know I'm working. Hello on Wednesday. My gosh, I look grey today. I don't know if that's just because the weather's so grey. I promised I wasn't going to come on to my vlogs and say I'm tired, but I am tired. And also, slightly overestimated how nice the weather was going to be today. I dressed for summer and it's more like autumn, so I'm going to go and get changed. Didn't film much yesterday because I was working all day, and then it was just kind of like chaos when the kids got back. I don't know if they were both just hyper or overtired. It's a kind of a very thin line between the two, isn't it, really? But either way, they were a bit mad. And then I just watched some TV on the night. Yeah, so I've just finished working this morning. So busy at the moment, like all good stuff. My role's changed ever so slightly, as in it's kind of encompassing more of the group stuff as well as the brands that I look after, which is good. There's just a lot going on at the moment. But I feel like over the last couple of days I've kind of got on top of it, and then I'm working tonight, working tomorrow night, which I quite like working on the evening, because although you've got emails to pick up that people have sent you during the day, you generally don't get that many other emails. The reason I work evenings is because the company that I originally started working for was based in America. So I worked some evenings so I could be on their kind of daytime for phone calls and meetings and things. They've since been bought out by a European company, so it's less important from that perspective, but it gives me greater flexibility in terms of working around the family and family commitments and the fact we don't have much childcare that we don't have to pay for. And if you have to pay for childcare, then obviously it kind of negates the fact that you're earning money because you're spending it all on childcare. We do get Jakey's 3 hours in September, so that will help out a bit. So yeah, because I do like the Wednesday night and the Thursday night, because it's a little bit quieter, you're not getting like a barrage of emails, it will mean I can get a substantial amount of stuff done because I've got like a press release to write, and I need to kind of like concentrate and not get interrupted by phone calls and emails when I do that. So that will be good. I actually don't know what I'm going to do with my afternoon. I just feel like everything's a bit chaotic at the moment. So I don't know whether to do housework or catch up on admin. There's a load of messages that I need to respond to in terms of like other opportunities and stuff. And I actually don't know where to start. I just don't know what to do. I'm going to get changed first and maybe have some lunch or maybe have a coffee or something. I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. I might just look at my to-do list and start picking things off it. I think that's all I can do. So I spent the afternoon making reels, which always takes longer than I expect it to and always means the house is a complete mess. And the house was a mess to begin with, so now it's even more of a complete mess. This was a prop for one reel I was going to do, and then I realised I hadn't saved the audio for it, so that was not very clever. And I've got smudged red lipstick around my face because I've put red lipstick on and then wiped it off. It's a bizarre life, isn't it? But I enjoy doing it, so it's okay. Hello on Thursday. I didn't pick up the camera very much yesterday. What happened? I worked in the morning and then I was in a really grumpy mood. I filmed some reels in the afternoon and that kind of shook me out of the grumpy mood. I think it's because I don't really get that much time to do stuff for myself, and I think I just needed to do something for myself, and I quite enjoy making stupid reels, so that kind of helped me. I wasn't doing housework, or I wasn't doing like work or preparing something for the kids. I was just doing something for me, and that's what I needed. Took Elliot to tennis yesterday after school, and then I worked yesterday evening. So much going on at work at the minute, but all good. And then today it is Jubilee celebrations at school, so Elliot's gone in wearing red, white and blue. All of the girls are like... Christmas, is it? Yeah. All right, okay, apparently it's Christmas. Is it Christmas for the Queen?
Yeah.
All right, okay. Christmas.
No, not Christmas.
Not Christmas, what is it?
Breakfast.
Oh, breakfast.
Yeah.
Did you have breakfast this morning?
Huh?
What did you have?
Hoops.
Oh, very nice.
Shreddies.
And shreddies.
Yeah.
Toast.
Biscuit.
And they're having some biscuits, aren't you? 9:05 in the morning, you're eating biscuits. That can't be a bad life, can it?
School run.
We've done the school run, haven't we? So yeah, it's Jubilee celebrations at school today. So they've all gone dressed up in red, white and blue.
And that's the house.
They've all gone dressed in red, white and blue. All the boys are in like England kit and sports gear, and all the girls are in pretty party dresses and glittery shoes. You've watched Geriatric, haven't you? They've got like a picnic on the school field, so I hope the weather cheers up a little bit. They've got the ice cream man come in to give them ice cream, so they've just got a day of nice celebrations. I'm quite jealous, actually. Quite jealous. We might attempt a different playgroup today, which will also have Jubilee celebrations. So we might head there in a little bit. We're off to a different playgroup. Wish us luck. I forgot to say as well, Mr. H is feeling a bit under the weather. He actually did a COVID test this morning. And he actually had COVID during the Easter holiday, which is obviously the last holiday that Elliot was off. So I'm just praying he's not going to be poorly during Whitsun holiday as well, because he's also got that booked off. And that'll be pants for him and pants for us as well. So let's keep everything crossed that he feels a lot better. I've tried to get him to like cancel doing as much as possible just so he can chill out and get better. So hopefully that works. All right, going to playgroup, Jakey?
Yeah.
Cool. Today is a good day. We went to the new playgroup And Jakey liked it. And best of all, it's free as well. It doesn't cost anything. It's a very traditional playgroup. It's in a kind of church. Excuse Go Jet is on in the background. It's the only way I could get Jake to get out of the car. It's kind of in a modern church. And they do kind of like free play to begin with. Then they have a snack. And then they have circle time with a parachute and singing songs. But it's much more like with the other class we do, kind of, if you don't join in with the circle time, there's nothing else to do, and that's kind of the whole point to being there. Whereas this is much more relaxed, as in you can join with the circle time if you want to, but if you don't want to and you just want to jump around like a loon on the outskirts, then that's okay as well. So that suits him better. I think I was quite tense because I was thinking he wasn't going to like it and he was going to be quite clingy and whatnot. But actually he did like it. And one of his friends, well, I say friends, he's not seen him for like 2 years probably, but one of the people he used to go to baby sensory with was there with his mum as well, so it was nice to see them. And weirdly they used to go to baby sensory there, so it was like a complete circle round, don't know if that's the right term. So we'll be going back there again after half term, I'm sure. And now to make lunch. We are decorating a crown. I think it's going to be for the dinosaur queen. Head out to the lake and fixed its eyes on Mazu. Look out, shouted Bill. Termy's behind you. Terminator snapped at Mazu just as she leapt to safety. The little dinos hid until the coast was clear. Bill was right, they did need to look out. Oh, he's having a cuddle, isn't he? What on earth has happened in my lounge? I've actually tidied up once, and yeah, this is only Jakey's mess as well. Elliot's only just got back from school.
Yeah, here I am.
It's kind of got worse. I mean, it doesn't look that bad through the screen, but in real life, it's only because the screen makes the room look bigger than it actually is that it doesn't look that bad. But look, we went to a playgroup earlier with about 30 children. And there was less mess at the playgroup than there is in the lounge at the minute. What on earth is going on?
About 30 children?
Yeah, about 30 children. So I had a bit of an idea earlier today, a little bit of a play idea. So I'm just trying to make it come to fruition, if that's the right word. Thought we could do some sensory play with red, white and blue rice. So I got these when we had VE day. I don't even know when that was now. And I thought one of the activities we could do is kind of like putting the right colour rice over the different bits. Obviously it might make it a bit more complicated for Elliot, although I think he'll just like playing with it anyway. So I've just tried to make my own coloured rice. I've never done that before, which is bonkers considering I've got like a nearly 3-year-old and a nearly 7-year-old. Hopefully it turns out okay. I literally just measured some out, like put it on the picture, so put some to cover the red bits and then weighed how much that was, and then weighed it again, so I had twice the amount, so there's enough for both boys. And then I put it in a food bag. I've thrown the food bags away now. Wrote the colour it needed to be, did the same for the white areas, did the same for the red areas, and then just put some paint in the food bags with the rice and squished them around. And then I've just laid them on foil on trays just to dry. So hopefully they'll be dry tomorrow and they will work, because I've never done this before. The white hasn't turned out that brilliantly. The white still looks like quite rice-like, but then I suppose rice is just white anyway, isn't it? So it's always going to be a bit like that. But the red looks very vibrant and the blue looks lovely. Hello, it's Thursday evening and I'm going to sign off for this week's vlog. I'm not sure how exciting this week really was. I don't feel like much happened. But I guess that's just life, isn't it? You get some weeks where it's jam-packed full of things, and other weeks where it's kind of like busy, but just like everyday stuff, quite mundane. I'm just working at the moment, going to be working till quite late tonight. So yeah, if you got this far, thank you very, very much for watching. The next vlog will be kind of a half-termy vlog, so you'll get to see where we go for days out. It will also feature what we get up to for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. So that one, well, probably will be more worthwhile watching than this one, because I say I don't feel like I did very much in this one. But, you know, that's just life. So yes, thanks for watching. Goodbye.